In 12th grade, I got nervous during my presentation and forgot my words. The class burst out laughing as Chloe said, "Maybe just don't speak." At our school's anniversary event, I was the guest speaker. She sat in the crowd with her husband as I looked up and said, "I still remember the sound of the clock ticking in Mr. Walker's history classroom that day. The air smelled like old textbooks and whiteboard markers. I was sweating, heart racing, staring down at my note cards like they were written in another language. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped them. This was supposed to be my big chance. I had spent nights practicing, going over every detail of my presentation about the Cold War. I had even timed myself with a stopwatch. I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted Mr. Walker to notice me, to think I was smart, that I mattered. But the moment I stood in front of that class, everything went blank. I could feel my throat closing up, and the words I had practiced 100 times just vanished. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. I stared at the room, and that's when I heard her voice, loud, cutting through the silence like a blade. "Maybe just don't speak." The whole room erupted in laughter. I froze. Chloe sat there, grinning like she had just told the funniest joke. Her friends, Heather, Lexi, and Amanda, laughed along with her. They always did. I don't think they even knew what they were laughing at half the time. If Chloe laughed, they laughed. I felt my face burn. I tried to say something, but my voice cracked. Mr. Walker cleared his throat, tapping his pen against the desk, looking at me like I was wasting his time. I rushed through the rest of my presentation, barely audible, my voice trembling. When I sat down, I could feel their eyes on me. I could hear whispers, stifled giggles. That day followed me for years. Every time I thought about speaking up, at work, at school, anywhere, I'd hear Chloe's voice in my head. "Maybe just don't speak." I carried that humiliation like a weight on my chest. Fast forward to 15 years later. I'm 33 now, living in Nashville, Tennessee. I run my own marketing firm, real clients, real projects, real pressure. My company's small but growing. I've learned how to speak. I had to. Public speaking became part of the job. Pitching to clients, running workshops, hosting events. And every single time I stood in front of a crowd, I thought of that day in Mr. Walker's class. When I got the email from my old high school in Lexington, inviting me to speak at the 50th anniversary event, I just stared at it for a while. They wanted me, to come back as a guest speaker. I wasn't sure how to feel. Part of me wanted to say no, but there was a bigger part of me that wanted to stand on that stage and show everyone I wasn't that kid anymore. I flew in the day before, stayed in a cheap motel near the school. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. I wanted it to be a surprise. The morning of the event, I put on my best suit. It was a dark navy one, tailored just right. I looked at myself in the mirror before I left, and for a second, I saw that nervous kid from 12th grade staring back at me. But then I straightened my tie and walked out the door. The school looked the same. Same brick walls, same metal lockers, same smell of old gym socks and cafeteria food. The auditorium was packed. Students, parents, teachers, alumni, they were all there. I stood backstage for a minute, took a deep breath, and then walked out to the podium. And that's when I saw her. Chloe. Third row, slightly off to the side. Her hair was darker now, a little shorter, but I recognized her instantly. She was sitting next to her husband, some guy in a button-down shirt who looked like he sold real estate, or maybe insurance. I couldn't stop staring for a second. She didn't recognize me at first. But when I started speaking, her eyes narrowed, and I could see the realization hit her. I kept my voice steady. I remember standing in this room 15 years ago. I was a senior. It was my turn to present in history class, and I froze. I forgot everything I had prepared. I stood there, terrified, and someone in the audience told me, "Maybe just don't speak." I paused. The room was silent. I looked directly at Chloe. Her mouth opened slightly, and she shifted in her seat. That moment could have defined me. It almost did. But I learned something. What people say about you doesn't have to be the final word. You get to decide who you become. And I decided to speak anyway. The applause started slow, then grew louder. I could see teachers nodding, students looking thoughtful. Chloe just sat there, frozen, like she wanted to sink through the floor. Her husband glanced at her, eyebrows raised, probably wondering what that was about. I wasn't done. I looked out at the crowd, my voice stronger now. Words matter. They can build someone up, or they can tear someone down. And sometimes the people who try to tear you down, they're the ones who are afraid of your voice in the first place. That's where I left it for now. After the event, people came up to talk to me. Students asked for advice. Teachers thanked me for coming back. I saw Chloe standing off to the side, clutching her purse like she was holding on to a life preserver. I knew we were going to talk. But that's not where this ends. After the event wrapped up, I stood near the exit, shaking hands and chatting with people as they left. Students, parents, even old teachers came by to thank me, some asking for business cards or LinkedIn info. It felt good, like I finally mattered here. But I couldn't stop watching Chloe. She hovered near the back of the auditorium, clutching her purse so tight her knuckles were white. Her husband kept glancing at her like he knew something was off, but she wasn't saying anything. Eventually, she made her way over to me. Her steps were slow, hesitant, like she wasn't sure if she should even approach. "Hey," she said, her voice low, almost a whisper. I turned to face her. "Hey, Chloe." She gave a tight, forced smile. I didn't know you were going to be speaking today." "Yeah," I said. I kept my voice steady, calm. "I guess the school wanted someone who knew how to speak." Her face flushed. Her husband raised an eyebrow, glancing between us. "I was just a kid back then," she mumbled, her voice barely audible. "We all said stupid stuff." I stared at her. "Yeah. But you weren't just a kid when you said it. You were 17. You knew exactly what you were doing. And you made me feel like nothing." Her husband's face changed. He looked at her differently now, like he was seeing her for the first time. "I didn't mean it like that," she said quickly, eyes darting around like she wanted to run. "I was just trying to be funny." I cut her off. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her husband shifted, folding his arms. "Chloe, what is he talking about?" I watched her squirm. She wasn't used to being called out, especially not in front of someone who mattered to her. "I was just a kid," she repeated, her voice smaller now. I leaned in slightly, not loud, but enough for her to hear. "Yeah, well, so was I. But not all of us got to grow up feeling like we mattered." Her husband frowned. "Chloe?" She didn't answer. I turned to him. "She used to make sure everyone knew who the boss was. Back in high school, she was the queen. She got a kick out of tearing people down. People like me." Her husband's face hardened. He took a step back, looking at her like she was someone he didn't recognize. "Is that true?" he asked, her voice sharp. Chloe's mouth opened, but nothing came out. For a second, it was like the whole room had gone quiet. Just the three of us in that space. I looked her in the eye. "I just wanted you to know. That moment? It didn't break me. You don't get to have that power anymore." Then I turned and walked away. But the story wasn't over. That night, back in my hotel room, I couldn't sleep. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. It was Chloe. "Can we talk?" the text said. I stared at the screen, feeling a mix of curiosity and dread. I had no idea what she wanted, but something told me this wasn't over. Not yet. I stared at Chloe's text for a long time. "Can we talk?" I didn't answer right away. Part of me wanted to delete the message, block her number, and let it die right there. But the other part, the one that had lived in her shadow for too long, wanted to see what she had to say. So I texted back, What do you want to talk about? She replied almost immediately, please. Can we just meet? Coffee tomorrow? I'll explain everything. Something about I'll explain everything made me pause. What the hell was there to explain after all these years? The next morning, we met at a small coffee shop near campus. I got there early, sat by the window, ordered a black coffee. The place was half empty, mostly students with laptops. Chloe walked in a few minutes late, looking different. Her makeup was light, her clothes casual, but she looked tired, like someone who hadn't been sleeping well. She sat down across from me, pulling off her sunglasses. I didn't know it was you, she said right away, no small talk. When I first saw you on that stage. Not at first. I stayed quiet, waiting. She sighed, running a hand through her hair. Look, I know I was awful back then. I was a bully. I was a damn nightmare to a lot of people. But I wasn't just being mean for fun. I raised an eyebrow. Really? She swallowed hard, glancing out the window like she couldn't look at me. My dad used to beat the hell out of me, she said quietly. I didn't want to go home. Ever. So I made school my place. My territory. If I could control the people there, I felt safe. Like I had power somewhere, at least. I sat back, surprised. You hurt a lot of people, I said, my voice calm but sharp. I know, she whispered, her eyes welling up. I ruined people. I ruined me? Her phone buzzed on the table. A text popped up. I caught a glimpse of the name, Matt, divorce attorney. She noticed me looking. Her face fell. Yeah, she muttered, picking up her phone. It's about that. My husband's leaving me. I stared at her, realizing she wasn't the queen anymore. Her empire was crumbling. Then she said something I didn't expect. I came here to ask for your help. I blinked. Help with what? I know you're successful now, she said, her voice small. You're good with people. You know how to fix things. I need a job. I need a chance to start over. I almost laughed. After everything you did? After the way you humiliated me? She nodded, tears slipping down her face. I don't deserve it. I know that. But I'm desperate. For a long moment, I just stared at her. I could feel the old bitterness rising up. I could feel that kid from 12th grade, the one who stood shaking in front of the class, humiliated, crushed by her words, screaming in the back of my mind. But there was something else too. I had power now. I had the chance to decide how this story ended. And I wasn't sure yet how I wanted it to end. I sat there, looking at Chloe across the table, and it hit me. This woman had crushed me when I was young. She had made me feel worthless. And now she was here, desperate, begging me for a job. Part of me wanted to tell her to go to hell. To watch her squirm, watch her lose everything the way I almost did because of her. But another part of me knew that if I let her off easy, I'd regret it. I leaned forward, my voice low. All right. You want help? Fine. I'll help you. Her eyes lit up, hope flooding her face. But, I said, holding up a finger, you're going to work for it. And you're going to pay for everything you did. She blinked, confused. I want you to come work at my company, I continued. But not in an office. Not as a manager. No. You're going to start at the bottom, entry level. Intern. Minimum wage. You're going to run errands, fetch coffee, make copies. And when you screw up, I'm going to tell you, maybe just don't speak. Just like you told me. Her face went pale. You can't be serious, she whispered. I'm dead serious. She stared at me, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. Her husband, the guy from the anniversary event, walked in then. He looked around, spotted us, and walked over, looking pissed. What the hell, Chloe? You told me you were going to the store. He glanced at me, then back at her. Wait, is this the guy you were talking about? He asked. I nodded, keeping my expression flat. Yeah. I said. I'm the guy. Her husband looked between us, then shook his head. I'm done, he said flatly. I filed the papers. Good luck with your mess. He turned and walked out. Just like that. Chloe's mouth fell open. She stared at the door like she couldn't believe what had just happened. I didn't say anything. I just watched her. She turned back to me, tears running down her face. Please, she whispered. Please. I'll do whatever you say. I took a deep breath and nodded. Good. I'll have HR send you the paperwork. See you Monday at 8 a.m. Don't be late. She showed up on Monday. And for the next year, I made her do every single task no one else wanted: filing, errands, cleaning up after meetings. Every time she got it wrong, I'd look at her and say, maybe just don't speak. She hated it. But she stayed, because she needed the paycheck. And I'll admit it, I enjoyed it at first. Watching her squirm. Watching her eat the same shit she fed me all those years ago. But after a while, I started to feel different. Not pity exactly. But I realized something: she wasn't in control anymore. I was. And I could end this whenever I wanted. So I did. After a year, I called her into my office. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Chloe, I said, you're done here. Her eyes widened in panic. Wait, please, I need this job. I held up a hand. You're done here because you're getting promoted. Her mouth dropped open. I'm giving you a chance, I said. A real one. Not because you deserve it. Not because you're owed it. But because I'm done carrying the weight of what you did to me. I'm done playing this game. She sat there, stunned, staring at me like I was speaking another language. Then I added, but if you ever treat anyone in this company the way you treated me back in high school, you're out. Understand? She nodded, speechless. As for me, I felt lighter. I had spent years chasing revenge. And I got it. Watching her crawl, beg, cry, that was the revenge I thought I wanted. But in the end, what felt better was letting it go. Knowing I could destroy her, but I didn't. And yeah, she still has to live with the fact that everyone knows the truth now. Her husband, her family, even some of her old friends who heard about what happened. That's her burden. As for me, I walked away from it all, stronger than I'd ever been. So yeah, maybe I did speak in the end. And I made sure everyone heard me loud and clear.